Here it is, the Oris Whale Shark. That song drove me crazy with my daughter in TikTok. So we're not talking about that today, we're talking about the Oris Whale Shark. This watch is, in my opinion, I think it's one of the nicest Aquis watches. It's always Aquis or Aquis, I don't know exactly, Aquis I guess. This watch is commemorating or supporting basically
Oris initiative, Change for the Better.
Change for Better, and they support a number of initiatives here, and one of them is Gerardo del Villar, a Mexican photographer, diver, adventurer or researcher, and he is very occupied with the whale shark, which is a fish.
Yes, the largest fish in the ocean.
It's not a mammal. I would think it's a mammal because there's whale in it, but it's a shark, but it's big, so it's a whale shark, I guess.
Pretty weird, but still cute, very cute.
And they can become as big as a yellow American school bus, I've read. And they need to be protected because they're
in danger of extinction,
exactly.
Unfortunately.
So Oris has this partnership. So it's not only about this watch, the Whale Shark edition, it's also about supporting Gerardo del Villar, a guy from Mexico, with his adventures and causes. And they support him with a partnership to raise awareness basically for him and of course for the whale shark. And this watch retails for 2,650 euros, which is
just 100 more than
the normal one, right? So you could say, okay, that extra 100 is perhaps going to the whale shark. That we don't know. We asked Oris, and they said we can't disclose. We only can say we support Gerardo del Villar, and we want to raise awareness. And of course, there is a financial kind of partnership, but they just don't want to disclose. I'm fine with that. To be honest, I mean, I think it's a really good cause. Creating awareness is good, and for that,
it's a really cool watch. So
and for that they created 216 of these watches. And to be super honest with you, I'm not a super big fan of the Aquis.
Because of the case.
Yeah, because of the case. It has an awkward shape, and I don't mind awkward shapes, but when I have it on the wrist, it looks a bit strange. But I also know that perhaps I'm a bit alone in this, because I've been told that the Aquis is the best-selling Oris collection there is, followed by the Oris Diver 65 and the Big Crown, followed by the Pro Pilot. So perhaps I'm a bit alone on this. The Aquis is a very popular watch. This is a GMT Date. You could say it's a diver, but on the other hand, it doesn't have a diver bezel.
Yeah, it doesn't.
What do you think of this watch?
I really like it. I must admit that the case is not a problem for me at all. So basically the oval case is very comfortable for a women small wrist. So, you know.
Even because your wrist size is, do you know your wrist size?
11.5 centimeters, so it's very small, and I think anyway this watch looks gorgeous. The dial is gorgeous. I love the pattern that initiate the whale shark skin, and I love the case back, the engravings there. It's so cute.
It's also a whale shark.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, as I said, I'm not a super big fan of the Aquis. But I do see the value you get for your money, basically. It's water resistant to 300 meters. It's a GMT watch with a GMT bezel. The bracelet is really solid and sturdy. Looks a bit like an oyster bracelet. It tapers a bit more. It really all feels very good and well made. And I really like the dial. For me, this is one of the nicest, perhaps the nicest Aquis watch. Because of the dial. It looks like there's a little structure, but it's printed, but it creates a lot of depth. And yes, it's based on the skin of the whale shark, and but it also reminds me a bit of a stingray. I used to have a strap made of stingray.
Okay.
But it has this structure with small dots, and it was really interesting to look at. And this dial has a bit of the same.
I mean, I never saw this shark, but maybe he has this type of skin, so...
Yeah, based on the pictures, he has
Yeah.
some dots on his skin.
Much bigger, but...
Yeah. It looks
Yeah.
very similar to what Oris released last year. I think only the dial is different. We can debate about that, whether that's original or not, or enough for a limited edition. On the other hand, I see also brands, like a Rolex for example, only changing, I don't know, 1 millimeter case and so on, and the world goes nuts.
Yeah.
And then criticize brands, perhaps like Oris, that say, oh, but your limited edition is only a different dial. Well, that's what it is, I guess.
Yeah.
But I like the dial, and for me, this is the nicest version. If I need to buy or want to buy a Aquis, I think this one would be it, to be honest.
What about the color combination? Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. I like the blue-greenish dial. I also like the black and the blue on the bezel. It's something we also saw with Rolex, but I think also Grand Seiko had a GMT that had that same color scheme. I like it. It's nice, and I also like the touch of orange there. It's a bit Dutch, you could say, but yeah, that's cool. And yeah, I like it. There's only one thing I not particularly like about the Aquis.
The case.
No, besides the case, I think
Okay.
it's not my case, but it wears nicely,
The
like
crown.
you say. No, it's the GMT hand.
Okay.
Normally, when I use a GMT Master or GMT watch, and they are already set it, GMT Master. When I traveled in the past, now we don't, I put on my GMT Master, and what I did is I set the hour hand to the local time, basically, and I used the GMT hand to indicate my home time, so I could see what time it was at home, where my family then is, for example. And with this watch, it works a bit differently, because when you pull out the crown, you set the GMT hand and not the hour hand. So people tend to say there's a real GMT watch and there's, well, a non-real GMT watch. But I prefer these watches where you set the hour hand independently. Has to do with the movement. This is an Oris movement based on a Salita movement.
Yeah.
And that's
798.
I think so,
Yeah.
yes. And the Salita movement is yeah, a good performer, I guess, but it doesn't feature the independent hour hand.
Yeah.
Perhaps that will come in the future. I don't know.
Perhaps.
In general, I think it's really
For the next limited edition.
for the next limited edition.
Yeah.
Indeed, no. I think it's a really nice watch, and I think it's a lot of value for money. 2,650 euros.
I totally agree.
Proper diving watch, except for the bezel. That is not a diving bezel. But if you're not diving with tanks on your back, I think you should be fine for swimming and so on. So let us know what you think about this Oris Whale Shark edition. You can leave a comment below this video.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell.